Call to order our October 24th Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting. My name is Kristen Ishihara. I'm sitting in for our chairperson, Les Rickett. To my right, the far right, our board members are Scott Mins, Rhonda Bullard, and Ronnie Rice. And Ms. Bullard's going to say the invocation for us.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for everything that you've provided for us on this earth and what you promised to us in the future. Dear Lord, be with us as we make decisions today that will affect the growth of our city and the quality of life for our residents. Let us make the decisions that would be pleasing to you. For we ask all of this in your name. Amen.
Amen. At this time, let's look over our September 26, 2011 meeting minutes. And if I could get a motion to approve those minutes, whenever you've had a minute.
I so move.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those minutes have been approved as written, and we'll move to Laura Hill with our annual Parks and Recreation report for 2010-2011.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to once again to be here and present our annual report of our 2010-2011 highlights. We're going to start with our facility updates and construction updates, and this is everything that's taken place since last October. First of all, just a reminder, we do maintain 3 cemeteries, and one of the highlights this past year was we worked with the Greenwood Cemetery Association, and they brought in a ground-penetrating radar unit, and they actually inventoried all the spaces within the cemetery at Greenwood to see what's still available. So we're still waiting to receive that data back, but that will give us a better indication of what available space may be there, okay? Moving on, we're still working on some 2007 bond projects, one of which was totally redoing the parking lot at Bennie Jackson Park. Birdie Park out in Pine Tree, we finished, this was a CDBG project, we finished the drainage work. If you see on the right, that's a satellite shot of what the open ditch used to look like, and this is what it looks like now, okay? We also completed the trail at Birdie Park. And moving on to Broughton, we installed a new sidewalk leading from the bus stop to the center to make the facility more accessible. Also improved security with some new gates and new stanchions around the park. Guthrie Park, which is over by Kmart, we totally replaced the old asphalt trail with concrete, and that's been very well received by the park users in that area. Ingram Pool this past year did open a skosh late because we were putting a new liner in the pool to help prevent water loss. And as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. Julieanna Trail, this is also a 2007 bond project. We totally redid the trail at that location, and it's been very well received. And that also included, next slide, redoing the parking lot. So that facility is now complete. At Lear Park, we continue to make improvements at Lear. And this past year, the Parks and Leisure Services Foundation donated the funding to install batting cages at Lear, which were needed. So that's been a welcome addition. Just last week, I think some of you managed to attend the groundbreaking for the Jack M. Mann splash pad, which will be located at Lear Park. The fundraising is currently going on, and this is another community project with, citizens coming and helping us make this come to fruition. Also a PALS Foundation project with some additional shade structures at Lear, which were desperately needed this past summer. This is a very exciting project, and just a reminder, we will have the ribbon cutting for the Stratgett Dog Park, which is located on Paul Boorman Trail, on Friday, November 11th at 10 a.m. We are putting the final touches on the facility, and I've heard rumor that people are already using it, so it's an exciting installation. Okay. Last fall, we did open Phase 2 of Paul Boorman Trail, which goes from Fairmont north to Loop 281, and the feedback on this has just been stupendous. Everywhere I go, people are complimenting actually starting to complain it's so crowded, so that's a good sign. Also, along with that trail project, we installed a new restroom facility at Rice Park, which is on the trail, and that's located on Fairmont Street. We worked with, this is one of several Eagle Scout projects, but it's highly visible, to install flagpoles along the trail. Paula Martin Jones Recreation Center saw the acquisition of a new rock climbing wall, which has been well received, so that's a new acquisition. Also at Paula Martin Jones, thanks to volunteers, we did some additional grounds work on the exterior. This was a huge project that was finally opened last fall. They had been working on it for 5 years. Totally community funded, a $350,000 expansion to the Neal McCoy Playground. And the new name is AMBUC 2 Universal Park Extension of the Neal McCoy Playground. And this is universally accessible. The poured-in-place surfacing means wheelchairs, parents with strollers, grandparents, anybody can use the facility. So it is really a jewel in our crown. Also have batting cages at Spring Hill Park. Okay. And a new restroom at Spring Hill up by the playground, so we no longer have to use porta potties. So that was welcomed by many, many mommies and daddies. 2007 bond project, we completed the trail around Teague Lake. Has been well received, and we're actually getting some interest in making some improvements to other sections of the park now, once again through community partnerships. Longview High School tennis courts. This was actually a community school partnership. The city went in and helped fund the field house, and as a result of that partnership, citizens can access those tennis courts whenever they're not in use by the schools. So that's a wonderful partnership that brought a wonderful installation to benefit all the citizens. Okay, that was basically our facilities. Does anybody have any questions?
So we didn't end up losing any property or damage because of that fire that was out there by Julieanna, or was that minimal?
That'll be another section.
Okay.
Just a minute.
All right.
These are, we frequently get questions about how many people use the parks. Well, it's really hard for us to determine that because parks are open space. But this is one indicator of just general use of the parks, and these are just the reservations. Now, for any reservation, you might have 10 people for a birthday party or 200 for a company picnic. But last year, we had 1,861 reservations for our pavilions, which is up just a little bit from the previous year, not much. It's holding pretty steady. But as you can tell, Kidsview and Spring Hill continue to be very popular, as are Broughton and McCoy. Okay. Panther Park Community Center, which is located in Spring Hill, had 95 reservations. Once again, you could have any number of people with each reservation. Okay, and then Stamper Park Community Center down just off High Street had 174 reservations. This is just a reminder that we work with many partners to accomplish a variety of things. Of course, we work with our school districts. We work with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, like on sports tourism initiatives. Work closely with the Greenwood Cemetery Association. They have funded many improvements to the cemetery. All of our sports associations, nonprofits, churches, etc. So we are in the business of partnering, and many of the projects you've seen are the result of partnerships like that. Okay. Rhonda, emergency operations. Okay. We kind of have this divided into two sections. Every time we activate the Emergency Operations Center, all the staff goes into a different mode of thinking. So wildfires, we just recently found out Gregg County is being declared for public assistance. So many of the expenditures the city suffered are now going to be 75% covered by FEMA. So The wildfires did take a lot of time, a lot of efforts on the part of our staff, and the damage that was adjacent to McCoy Park, it got very close. I do have to commend the Longview Fire Department because they literally did save the park. So
Excellent.
it was all an undeveloped property. And next slide. Just to remind you, we did have a winter storm, a couple of them, and, you know, fond memories there. We did open the EOC for that too. We had to cancel schools and stuff like that for that weather. Okay. Then on the top of those where we activated the Emergency Operations Center, we continue to have issues that kind of go into our response to emergencies. And I just wanted to remind everybody, if you've forgotten, we are under a severe drought. We did have 40 days of triple-digit heat, and we are going to be experiencing this for, if not months, years to come with the damage to our trees. We are already seeing an increase in the number of trees we're having to remove because they're dead, diseased, stressed, and posing a danger. So we're going to continue to see the impact of this past summer for quite a while to come. Okay. In addition to just the wildfires, we did have arson at Ingram Park, and this is just some of the damage. The fire marshal's office is still working that as an open case. Then I briefly told you, but here's some of the pictures. McCoy Park, all 3 concession stands at McCoy did experience some vandalism. We're estimating in the $15,000 range for damage. Longview Police Department is working that as a case also. And this is just some of the pictures of some of the damage. Okay. Spring Hill Leaders Corps Park they're not calling it arson, but we did have a fire out there that actually melted the top lot playground equipment. So that the new equipment has been ordered to replace that. Okay, volunteer activities. Volunteers are critical to what we do to serve the city, and I think we have a lot of volunteers that really take pride in what they do. This is just some of the hours, details that go through our volunteer office. Okay. All told, with what was reported to us, the total value of the volunteerism to the city, and this includes all departments, not just parks, is over $500,000. So we do need volunteers. We continue to need volunteers, and if you have a particular skill or interest, we probably have something you can help us with. Okay. Keep Longview Beautiful is one of our key partners, and this is an example of what they've recently done downtown. We work with them on events. They have areas adopted in town, so it's an ongoing partnership with Keep Longview Beautiful. We just had Citywide Cleanup Day the 1st of August, and our next significant event will be in February. It's the waterway cleanup, and then we'll have another citywide cleanup activity in April. Stormwater management. Actually would like to have some stormwater. Okay. Anyway, these are some of the things Parks has to do within the overall plan with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. We do manage old tire recycling, and this past October 1st we had an event and had 990 tires recycled, so that's wonderful. Helps cut down on mosquito habitat, so we do appreciate everybody who participated. Moving on to recreation, Green Street Rec Center, this is some of their statistics. They're very busy. And would love to have people come down and join them for special events or just as members, okay? Broughton Rec Center has a lot going on all the time. Juneteenth was very successful this past June, and MLK, we're actually starting planning for that this coming February, okay? Paula Martin Jones, it's hard to tell, but this is we took a racquetball court, and there's a giant Wii screen, and I think they're bowling. I don't know. I can't tell. Okay. They have things in the gym on Saturdays, actually all week. And then, of course, water aerobics is a mainstay in the newly renovated pool, okay? This is their attendance. As you can tell, Fridays slack off. People are busy on Fridays, but that's basically what they've been experiencing for the past year, okay? Aquatics is a huge program for us in our outdoor facilities. This is the Learn to Swim participation this past year. 4 different sessions at the Longview Swim Center. And we didn't manage to open for session 1 this past year at Ingram because we were putting the liner in. So that session had to be canceled. We will have a session 1 this upcoming year at Ingram. This is public swim at the swim center. Once again, we had no rain days this year. So attendance was over 12,000. They did exceed projections for attendance and revenues. So they did very well. Ingram wasn't open as long as the swim center, but very, very good attendance. Then athletics. This is our biggest business, as I know you're probably tired of me saying. So, okay. This is big news. This is upcoming, and I wanted to highlight this. Once again, our athletic staff went off, and they came back with the TAAF Girls State Basketball Tournament, and it will be held March 16th through the 18th this coming spring. And in the past, we've averaged between 75 and 100 teams coming into Longview, filling up our hotels. You'll see them out in restaurants, etc. So this is one of the largest tournaments we ever host. And we do appreciate our partnerships with our schools letting us use their gyms and Laterno. Okay. Kickball is growing in popularity. So, this compared to softball, this isn't a lot, but we've only been doing this for 2 years. So it's growing a lot. So we had fall, spring, and summer leagues. Okay. Flag football is going on right now. This was last fall, and this past spring we had flag football, and pretty good league. Okay. Adult basketball. This is adults, had 28 teams, and then youth. We have open and church, so that's doing very well. Hensley, okay. Hensley is our busiest facility. I know most people would think Lear is, but Hensley, let me find my numbers. Compared to 2010 and 2011, we had 477 teams total playing in 3 leagues. And that's a 9.9% increase over 2010 when we had 434 teams. This sport continues to grow. In fact, we're maxed out at our adult complex, and they are having to play some games out at Lear. So Hensley this is going great. I can't say any more. Then we're just going to go through we're trying to show you the impact on our facilities. So these are the games by field. So we're just going to kind of go through this. This is Lear baseball, fall of 2010, 160 games. And then spring 2011, 367 games. Okay. Moving on. Lear softball at those 8 fields. Last fall they had 386 games. This spring, 1,478. And then in the summer, 478 games. McCoy baseball, last spring, 203 games. And then in the summer, had 149 games. Spring Hill baseball, last fall, 58 games. And Spring Hill in the spring had 442 games. And then in the summer, 176. Timpson, this was last fall, 5 games, and then this past spring, 159. And Timpson Park in the summer, 29 games. Stamper, this is flag football, had 30 games this past spring. Broughton, we had 8 games. And then Lear soccer, in the fall, 928 games. And then in the spring, 776. And then the summer, 109. Now let me make a clarification. Those are games. That doesn't include practices, rentals, anything else. Those are league games, okay?
So not tournament play either?
No,
Just,
that's just games, okay? This is the ball field crew. They did they prepped fields for 9,197 games, okay? So hats off to them, okay? Now, sports tourism, we supported 89 tournaments. Now, we lumped them all together. This is if somebody else rented and held their own tournament, and we just provided field maintenance, and this goes all the way to the tournaments the city produced. So we had 89 tournaments this past year, okay? Also within athletics, we continue to have our special events, 2 track meets, and then pump, pass, and kick, which are highly successful. We just threw this in. We participate in the Heart Walk, so the city does. So this was our team last year. So, okay. Our employees, these are the people who make it all happen. Now, not everybody is in the pictures. We had some on shift work and some that were absent, but this is the majority of our staff. This is the operations and maintenance section. These guys take care of the parks, they take care of municipal buildings, they take care of cemeteries, they take care of right-of-ways, they pick up litter, clean restrooms, etc. They keep the whole machine running, okay? We were staring into the sun. We're really not angry. This is Community Services Administration. We mainly handle like budget and payroll, things like that, okay? These are the recreation staff. They're the ones that take care of all those games, coordinating, scheduling, all those swimming lessons, rec classes, like dog obedience and belly dancing. These are the ones that make that happen. This is the Broughton Recreation Center staff, part of them, okay. Green Street Rec Center, Paula Martin Jones Recreation Center. And then finally, these are the city's parks, okay. You're familiar with this chart. This breaks them down by size and amenities, etc. So, you know, this is what we do. We take care of all these facilities. And then finally, if you are interested, we are trying all sorts of ways to communicate what's going on with our community. So we're on Twitter. We certainly have our website, very strong presence on the website. We do a monthly newsletter, email blast. We have online registration. You can pay for things online. You don't even have to come to our office to register. And of course, we're always available by phone, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have questions?
I'm good. Good report.
All I can tell you is 9,197 preps.
That's a
Those
lot.
guys get the attaboy, and ladies, that's a lot. That's a pretty impressive number.
It is impressive, you know, and there's, like I said, that didn't include rentals, which they're also prepping for. That didn't include tournaments, which they're also
Every time
working.
I complain about my field, I might want to rethink that and say, after 9,196, I might have done that a few times. So kudos to that group. That's more than one a day.
Laura, I think we also want to commend you on you personally and all of the Parks and Recreation employees. From sitting on this committee, I know that y'all do a tremendous job. I'm really personally proud of all of our parks here in Longview. From working with you on the dog park, I know that you are easy to work with, as is everyone I've come into contact with in the Parks and Rec department. And I'm actually now playing kickball, so I know the Recreation department does a tremendous job. That's a lot of fun, and I'm really impressed with everything we offer recreation-wise. I think that's really great.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Anybody else have comments for Laura? All right.
Great job.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Next, we have items of community interest. Ms. Bullard, would you mind to speak about the Jackman splash pad that Laura referenced had its groundbreaking this week?
They did. Had a good crowd turnout. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but the picture of the paper was great. The coverage in the paper was great. A ad hoc group is working through the PALS Foundation to help try to raise these dollars, $250,000 from the community. We're about $105,000 confirmed or committed at today's date. We're working toward a December 1 push to try to have our commitments in so that we know we can break ground and we've got it all paid for by the time January rolls around. We are fixing to launch did we launch our website Friday? Okay, so the website is up and going, and we will add information about that as soon as it's finalized in the next week to 10 days on the brick paver plaza that we'll have, where you can do bricks in memory or honor of someone. And the PALS Foundation is doing a lot of background work on this and allowing this all to flow through them, and as an added fundraiser they didn't really anticipate having to take on responsibility for, but they've been extremely supportive and easy to work with, so
Thank you.
we're up and running.
Do you know what the website is?
Dietrich? LongviewSplashPad.com.
Okay, thank you. Also, under items of community interest, I did want to reiterate that our dog park opening is Friday, November 11th at 10 a.m. And also, anyone who plans to use the park, please make sure that you visit our website. It's longviewdogpark.org, and review the rules and the tips for usage of the park. It will be up to the dog owners themselves to be responsible for their own dog's behavior. So we want to make sure that everyone there is appropriate and their dogs are behaving appropriately. So we would appreciate your help in getting that done. Does anyone else have any other items we need to discuss? Okay.
No.
And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 12:27. Thank y'all for being here.
Thanks.